say that I am a Trekkie, but I appreciate the fact that all of you are wonderful actors and have done so much outside of Star Trek too. So I'd like to know, is there one dream role, either on Broadway or in film, that you've always wanted to play, but you've never had a chance to? And I'd just like to hear from all 5 of you on that.
Avery, would you like to start?
No. And that's how he teaches classes at the university that he's a professor at. They ask a question, and he'll say, yes. And you've got to take a lesson. For me, I just closed on Broadway in a one-man show. And of all the things I've done, because I was instrumental in creating it, writing it, and doing all the things, it was the biggest, largest, most profound challenge that I've ever had as an actor. And so I'm resting a little on the exhaustion of that escapade.
I do have a bucket list, but in the last 4 years I've hit 2 of them. It was Cleopatra last year, and 2 years before that was Clytemnestra. Those were 2 of mine. And I think what I'm longing to play is Arkadna in Chekhov's The Seagull, because I have never played Chekhov.
Could I play your Nina?
Yes, discuss it.
I'd like to star as William Shatner in his one-man show.
You have to sing. No, you understand. He's a great singer. You all know that. He was on Broadway as a singer. He didn't know it. I don't think I've ever told you that I went to a musical many years ago, so many years ago, and I saw this glorious performance on something or other that you were starring in. And I remember to this day that actor, and then I met him, and he was the guy that was in the musical. He's got a glorious singing voice, so that's what I meant by it. Sing for us.
We may run out of time if we do that. Patrick?
This has given me an idea. I have been sometime producer. Let me pitch this to you. William Shatner's one-man show, starring William Shatner. But after the opening night, no audience will ever know when they go to see the William Shatner one-man show whether they will see William Shatner as William Shatner, or Avery Brooks as William Shatner, or Kate Mulgrew as William Shatner, or Scott Bakula as William Shatner,
Or William Shatner as Avery Brooks, or
Can I answer the question that you asked the others quickly? Very quickly. Yeah, like Kate, I have a bucket list too, but one of them is coming up, and I can't tell you what it is, but I will just say to you, fall 2013, Broadway. Watch this space.
That's intriguing. Very intriguing. Yes.
That's the next question. What do you mean you can't tell us? It's not going to go any further than this room.
Stay right here. All right, can we go to you, sir? Can you reach the mic? There you go.
I have a question for William Mr. Shatner?
I'm a little embarrassed by getting so many questions.
What was your favorite superhero when you were growing up?
Well, what was my favorite one?
Superhero.
Your favorite superhero
My favorite superhero
growing up?
growing up. I didn't know it, but it was Stan Lee.
Not a bad choice.
Because I was into those comic books and all those characters and stuff like that. And then I met Stan, and he's got that peculiar brain. You know?
So you were a Marvel boy.
I'm a Marvel comic.
Woo! All right. Over here, please.
All right, I know all of you have starred in other things besides Star Trek. I know Patrick Stewart's been in X-Men, Scott Bakula in Quantum Leap. All of you, what was your favorite role, including Star Trek, what's been your favorite role that you've ever played?
Favorite role that you've ever played? Anyone want to start on this one?
William Shatner, the William Shatner one.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Mine too. Mine was my run as Bill Shatner. Bill Shatner.
It's a classic.
Paul Wilson. He was glorious in that thing. Talk about singing and all his other talents, his musical talents as well as his acting talents. That was a glorious moment in theatrical history. You look at me?
Maybe.
Well, I'm looking at you.
All right. I like it. Do you have a favorite?
Danny Craig. I tell you, I don't know about the other actors. I'd like to throw it open to that kind of discussion about that question. Favorite role. For me, once you've done the role, it was great. It was fun. It either wasn't quite as good as you expected it to be. It was better than you expected it to be. Whatever expectations you had that were met or unmet, it's gone. It's ephemeral. The role, especially in the theater, is over. On film, it lasts a little bit longer, but not that long. I mean, you know, within 3 or 4 years, people have forgotten what it was, except for things like Star Trek. But mostly, an actor's role is gone, and it's the next thing that is really what you're looking forward to. I'd like to ask the rest of the actors on the stage what they think about that.
Favorite roles?
I withdraw the question.
Past, present.
My favorite role was probably my one woman show, Katharine Hepburn. That's
Going back to what I was saying earlier about not having fun, all those qualities came together for me in a two-man show that I did, and I did it only about 2 years ago in New York, played by David Mamet, called Life in the Theatre. And the reason why I choose that is because, A, I had a wonderful co-star in T.R. Knight, but in that play, in that production, which has a certain poignancy in its ending, I had more actual fun on stage than I've had at any other time in my life, so I think for that reason only I would put that at the top of my list.
Scott, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite role? Double mic it. Just don't miss a beat.
In the theater, it would be 3 guys naked from the waist down. Television, it would be Santa.
Alright, let's go over here, please.
Okay, as you can see, a lot of us really like Star Trek a lot. Kind of a shock. But my question to all 5 of you is, do you see what we see in Star Trek, the love that we have for it, or do you see it as just another TV show and we're all just crazy?
We can start over here this time. What does Star Trek mean to you?
Can I invite someone else to answer that first? Because I'm meditating.
Absolutely. Any takers?
Well, I could start it off by saying that I defer to Mr. Brooks. I've done a documentary called, in this country it'll be called Get a Life, and in Canada it'll be called Connect. And it's a discovery of what you all are doing here at a convention, sci-fi convention. And I get into some great depth of what we're all doing here. And Star Trek becomes something far larger than what I ever thought it was. And I wrote a book about called Get a Life, about people who come here. I've discovered as a result of making this documentary that this cultural phenomenon that we know as Star Trek, and on a larger sense science fiction, is far bigger, far more meaningful than many of us think. That we are here right now participating in a mythological experience, and that's what Fanatics or Get a Life will be about.
Great. All right. Why don't we go over here?
Good afternoon. I would like to, I would like to thank the group for many wonderful years of entertainment and value growing up. Many of you are just a huge part of my life. What a privilege to have the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon. Thank you. My question for you, one of the things that I really love about the Star Trek franchise is its ability to inspire, especially in the area of technology speculation. The gadgets and gizmos that Star Trek really first planted in our communities have grown up. We all have cell phones, which started off as communicators. We all have tablets, which started off as tablets. Our next generation. My question to you is there some gadget or gizmo that you used in Star Trek that you are amazed is actually a real-life thing today? Or is there some gadget or gizmo that you said, God, this is the dumbest thing ever? And it is still a gadget or gizmo today.
Any standout items on the show that any of you guys use for?
Yeah, one, because of I increasingly struggle with the one aspect of what we do, which is now giving me such a bad time, and that is learning lines and remembering them. And so I would like to have had the ability that it seems Data the android had, which was an instant recall of anything that he heard or read or saw. It would be such a help.
That's a helpful choice.
Well, if we're going to go that way, I'd like the holodeck. That was Janeway's only romantic/sexual relief. And they were always 5'4" Irishmen. It made no sense to me at all.
I look forward to beaming.
I believe it is to beam or not to beam, I think. My experience would involve the people I've met, who, as a result of seeing Star Trek, had careers. And we've all nodding our heads. We've all come up with from people like yourselves who come to us in one form or another, ethereal or material, and said their lives, their life course was changed as a result of Star Trek. One that comes immediately to mind is a guy who is now heading Canada's largest airplane manufacturing company, who became an aeronautical engineer because of Star Trek, and now is making these wonderful airplanes that take people around in almost science fiction fashion. They're so fast and efficient.
How many of you guys obviously have a correlation with NASA, and a lot of times when episodes would air, the funding would go up for NASA programs and vice versa. Have you guys all been to rocket launches, or any of you?
I'm the only one who was around when NASA was putting up their... Everybody else is so much younger, I can't stand it. All these little guys, I mean, look at them, they're all junior people who have had their whole lives in front of them. But NASA was a partner in many ways to start with.
Yes.
I had the great good fortune to speak for about 45 minutes to the International Space Station a few years ago, which was really kind of to the guys to the American on the space station. And he later sent me a video of life on the space station, and that was pretty great. And I could only talk to him until he went past, you know, and his side of the Earth and disappeared, and then that was the end of our conversation, which was bizarre, but really, really, really cool. And we sent him some, you know, DVDs from our show and stuff, and it was up there. And he was like, "Thanks for the, you know, DVDs." I was like, "Yeah, cool." And he's gone. There he goes.
Scott, I didn't know you had done that, and I know what a wonderful experience it was because it happened to me too. There was only one non-Russian, non-American commander at the International Space Station, and he was a Belgian. He is a Belgian called Frank de Win, and Frank chose me to talk to during his time on the station, and lots of amazing things happened. My first question to him was, as perhaps yours was, why would a real astronaut want to meet a fake astronaut? Doesn't make any sense. But, he held up in front of the camera on the space station this photograph of the current crew. There was a Canadian, there were two Americans, there was a Russian, there was Frank from Belgium. I can't remember who the other one was, and they were all wearing our uniforms. And I said, "That's great! How brilliant to be able to Photoshop all your heads on the top." And Commander de Win said, "No, we were wearing."
Okay, let's go over to this mic.
First of all, I want to say I'm a really big fan, but this is for Mr. Stewart. I've been watching Star Trek since I was like 12 years old, and I was just at the Chris Hemsworth Q&A, and a lot of girls were asking for hugs, but I would much rather hug you than Chris Hemsworth.
This sentiment is much appreciated. We can't take hugs right now, but perhaps you can visit him at his...
That would be a hard hug. A gentle hug.
is right now, so.
You know, when he jumps down that path, that just jars your head. You can forget everything.
It was amazing, wasn't it? How about you over here?
Hi, so my question is for all 5 captains, so eventually Sir Patrick when he gets back too. But my question is for all of you, for whatever parts of the Star Trek franchise you filmed, be that just the TV series or also the movie, what was the most interesting part for you to film, either an episode, a single scene, and why?
What was the most interesting part of an episode for you to film?
Or movie?
Or creepy? Oh, I can answer that. Go ahead. Part of an episode, whether difficult, interesting, or creepy, something that stands out. Maybe.
Nimoy is very creepy.
Yeah, the Fatidians, the organ eaters, very, very creepy.
All right. Let's go to this mic, and perhaps they will think of their creepy, interesting moments. Go ahead.
First of all, I'll quickly say one of our most interesting times were when we recreated Mr. Shatner's entire ship and uniforms, etc., and we did In the Mirror Darkly, and it was a flip side of their world, but it was our world flipped, and it was you guys know. You guys know versions, 24 of these versions, but that was bizarre because people from all over the Paramount lot came to see the original bridge, and people were just beside themselves to get out there and kind of like touch it and look at everything, and it was surreal. It was really, really cool. Bill wouldn't come and do it, but everybody else did.
One night on Planet Hell, stage 16, we were, Michael Dorn and Gates McFadden and I were shooting a scene in which Gates McFadden was trapped under a rock fall, or something like that. She was jammed into these rocks, and we had worked out that there was one way that we could free her, that we had to do something, like blast something away, and then pull her out quickly. And I was the one who was going to pull her out, and this moment came, and it had to be done very kind of abruptly. And the moment came, action, the thing happened, and I reached in, and I grabbed Gates by both breasts. Accidentally. Yes. Accidentally, because I went.
All right.
Maybe it was a bad idea that you started having fun on the set.
Hello, my name is Bridget, and I just wanted to thank Scott Bakula and his crew because they are the only series that ever had an episode take place in Pennsylvania, Doylestown specifically, just about an hour north of air. So thank you for that. I have 2 quick questions. One's for Bakula and Shatner together, because they have something in common, which I'm going to come out. And the third question is for Kate Mulgrew. Okay, Bakula and Shatner. I'm sorry, his last name. Mr. Bakula and Mr. Shatner. Okay. You have something in common. Both of you were involved in television shows, which were 2 of my favorite shows of all time, Boston Legal and Men of a Certain Age. And those shows were unique in the fact that they each explored male friendships in a way that is rarely seen on television or film. And I wanted you to both talk about how that affected you personally, or if those friendships also carried off the stage, because particularly Mr. Shatner and James Spader, you seem to have an unbelievable intimate relationship that was a little bit questionable, the sleepovers, whatever. But how did that affect you? And did it change your relationships with other men in your own lives? The fact that you did those shows?
She wants to know my relationship with James Spader.
I do. I'm curious about that.
Have you ever seen James Spader naked?
Can't say that I have.
Yes, you have?
No, I can't say that.
I don't think she would reveal that.
The bromance you're talking about.
Yeah, the bromance, yeah.
Well, you know, I'm trying to think of each one of your series, of your editions of Star Trek. I think everybody has a bromance there. Captain and Spock. There is. You know, let me amplify that question to everybody here about what a friendship is and what their concept of a friendship is. Why is that eliciting laughter? What is a friend? And in this fictional area, like Kirk and Spock, which I know more than the other shows, what constitutes a friendship, and how does that work, and what are you willing to sacrifice for a friend? Where does it go? In a fictional sense, you can do anything, but in a practical sense, where does friendship go? Thanks a lot.
How about Mr. Bakula?
I'm tossing that over to you. Do you have a friend other than a lover? I'm talking directly to you. I'm looking. You're just not wearing your glasses.
Do I have a friend other than a lover? Are you crazy? I believe, as Samuel Johnson said, lo, these many years ago, friendship is the single greatest gift given to man, right? Romance comes and goes. The rest of it is transient, ladies and gentlemen. But a friendship, you elect to love someone unconditionally without sex, simply because it is your right as a human being to exercise that depth of feeling with someone of your choice. I have 7 very close friends. Maybe I have 1. No.
That was wonderful.
What do you think? Do you have 7 lovers, 1 friend?
There was a time, my dear.
Okay, yeah.
Wait a second.
Yes.
Is she? I don't know if I can follow that. This question is for Mr. Shatner. I've been watching you for many, many years. I won't give away either of our ages. So my question is, a couple years ago, the new Star Trek came out, and it had all the portrayals of the characters from the original series when they were younger. And Chris Pine played a young Captain Kirk. What did you think of his portrayal of your character as a young man?
I think Chris Pine has all the equipment, vocally, physically, and emotionally, to be a big star. I think he will be one of our big stars as time goes on. He's got it all. I'm thrilled with what he's doing on Star Trek.
Thank you.
Yes. Hi. I just want to thank all of you for bringing so much to Star Trek and allowing it to become such a huge phenomenon and bringing all these people together. I'm actually waiting for a kidney transplant, and the majority of the people who are willing to donate I've met through playing Star Trek online. So, I mean, Star Trek is really giving me hope to live a long life and be healthy.
Where are you in the process of waiting for your transplant?
I just got on the transplant list a couple weeks ago. So hopefully it's coming soon.
Just a few weeks ago, you said? Just
Yeah.
a few weeks ago?
But I met a guy from England who's willing to travel here to give me a kidney from Star Trek, and someone in Canada. So I mean, you guys
you on
have given me a
dialysis?
lot of hope. Yeah, I am.
You'll get that.
You get it.
Thank you.
I want to say one thing. We're only here, and I firmly believe this, we're only here because you're here. That's the truth. We don't have TV shows if people don't show up to watch them. Mine got canceled last year, I know what I'm talking about. So it's right back at you, really. We're here because you're here. This thing started 47 years ago. I was a little boy, I don't know. So thank you to all of you who are in this room right now.
Yes. Hi, you're all so amazing. I grew up with you in a way. You raised me, and today's my birthday, so I really want to say thank you. And I was wondering what it was like to work with Majel Barrett, and if you could talk about her, because she was a constant throughout all of the Star Treks.
Can you repeat that last part of the question?
Majel Barrett, Roddenberry, if you could talk about her.
How was to work with her?
How was it to work with her? Did anyone? Roxanne, sure, the computer.
I suppose it's done me. It was immensely entertaining because Majel was not only for us on Next Generation a significant link to the original series, but she was the wife of the creator of the series, and she always brought onto the set outrageous energy and charming vulgarity. And usually gave me a pretty bad time because of the relationship between Picard and the little Waxana Troy. So I enjoyed her visits for a long time, but you know, I'll confess something I've never confessed before. And it must not go beyond this room. But it was about 3 years into our series before I discovered that she was the voice of the computer.
All right, sadly we have time for just one more question.
Oh, can I say something before we
Yes,
do?
absolutely.
I've been needing to say this every time I got a chance to speak, but half of you arrived and we had already started. You weren't late. This thing got pushed back. So you didn't miss anything. It's just that we all got so bored back there waiting, we just decided to come up and start anyway. So don't think that you were out of place or wrong or late or anything, and you didn't miss a single thing.
Go a little longer because you did start early, so I'm sure everyone appreciates that. Yes.
Hey, I have a deeply profound question for all of you. And Avery, I'd like you to answer first. Is there any chance that we're going to see any of you on Dancing with the Stars? Look at your fan face! Come on, people!
Crossing over to Dancing with the Stars. I think I know what Avery's going to say.
No.
And there you have it.
I'm not, no. But what I want to say before since this is the last time I'm on the microphone, is I did a documentary on the 5 captains and got to know these 4 people. Although it was brief in terms of time, it was very, very substantial for me. Conversations I've had with all of them. I knew, with the exception of Patrick, I knew them very little. They are the loveliest, most talented, most giving, most vulnerable, most exciting people I know. They are, I think of them as friends of mine now as a result of my experience on the captains, and what you think of them as actors is really true. They are extraordinary people, and I'm very proud to know them.
Dancing with the Stars, or any other last thoughts that you would like to get out there?
I'll do a tango with you, Bill.
Ooh. Perhaps later tonight.
That should be a ratings booster.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much.